Ow, we got bamboozled coming into
We
this week.
we did.
We were all prepared for like, oh, what's this Emma episode going to be? But just kidding. It's the episode where, oh, the closeted Idol fan gets dragged into the Idol Club episode.
Dragged straight out of that closet.
Yeah. The I, we talked about this I think early on, but like this was not the route I was expecting this character to go down,
Yeah, no.
which is very interesting. Either way, we will talk about that and everything else that transpired this week on Jared and Al Watch Love Live Nijigasaki High School Idol Club. It is episode number 5, and we're going to talk about episode number 5. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady
Hello.
and we're talking about something I can only do right now, which is talk about this episode.
Yes. Not in the future.
Not in the future, but
Right
in the
second.
here and now. So yes, this is the Emma episode. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
We begin this episode. We get a little bit more about Emma's backstory and everything, which kind of hadn't really been brought up before this. She just gets off the plane from Switzerland and just rolls up to Nijigasaki and is like, "Oh, this is the school I want to go to."
I assume she did some research beforehand.
Yes, but still, she just like has her luggage and everything, and she's like, "This is where I want to go."
Yep.
Karen shows up, and is like, "Can I help you?"
She's like, this is the school, right? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on.
Yay!
Yay.
They flash forward like a smidge, and they're at lunch. Emma goes to join Karen, who's sitting by herself. She's like, "Oh, thanks for helping me the other day. Do you mind if I sit with you?" And Karen's like, "Okay, sure, whatevs." And Emma kind of like breaks down her. She's like, "Oh, I wanted to do this since I got to Japan. I got a big bowl of rice. I cracked an egg on it. I put some sauce on there, and I'm eating the rice."
That looked really gross. Like, I love rice and I love eggs. I don't know that I would want like a raw egg on top of rice.
I don't know. You never know. I don't
You
know. Was
never
it a
know.
raw egg?
Yeah, she cracked it.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Either way, she does that, and she's all happy. And Karen's like, "This is what you came to Japan for," and Emma's like, "No, no, 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 it's not just this." She talks about how like she got enraptured by idols and everything. She came to Japan because she wanted to be a school idol and all that, and she wants to give that same energy out to everyone else
Mm-hmm.
that are fans. And Karen's like, "Oh, cool, neato, braderific." Then we move forward a little bit more into the future, where Emma's just got a whole big thing of bread,
Oh, I love bread.
just chowing down on some bread, and she's still hanging out with Karen. They're just chit-chatting. Some other students come up to Karen like, "Oh my God, are you Karen? Oh my God, we're big fans of your work. It's real cool. Keep doing well." And Karen's like, "Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you." And Emma's like, "Oh, you're a model. I didn't know this." Karen's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Um,
At some point, did we already mention that she doesn't like people?
I was just about to mention that. Like when
Okay.
Emma shows up to her like at lunch the first time, Karen makes the mention like, "Oh, I don't like being in big groups." It's a very
Same.
poignant thing that she mentions. But yeah, Karen talks about like how she's a model and everything, doing all that, and Emma's like, "Oh, interesting, interesting. That's cool." And then I think Karen asked her like, "Oh, you still got club stuff going on?" I know this is like another thing in the future or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And Emma's like, "Yeah, we got a bunch of new members joined and everything. They're doing the solo stuff, so like everyone's real motivated to do all that and everything. You should join us and do that. That would be real fun." And Karen's like, I gotta go. Bye."
Got things to do. People to see.
Something just came up.
Very busy.
Very busy. And Emma's like, "Oh." So we go to the club room where everyone's hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about or Kanata has her head in Emma's lap and is like, Emma's just petting her like she's a cat.
Yep.
And Emma makes mention, they're like, "Oh, this reminds me of this." And they're like, "Oh, is that like someone you do in Switzerland?" Like, "No, it was a goat.
It was a goat.
I used to pet this goat all the time." Yu is just wearing her jacket like she's a delinquent.
She is.
It's
She's
very good. I like it.
It's funny. I was like, oh man, what are you doing?
Look, you gotta have your arms free just in case.
Just in case. You never know.
You never know. they go to the computer because there's been a big jump in views for IMU's video, which by a big jump of views is like, hey, she got 2,000 views.
Yep.
They're like, yay!
Yay! Which, I mean, if you're not getting many views and then you get some, that's nice.
It's true. They come up with the idea that they should all do like personalized PVs for every single person.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut back and we see like, I think later on, like they did one for Setsuna that's getting a lot of views that a lot of people are watching.
Yeah, hers is just like dive, basically.
Yes. We see Karen watching it and looking like she's unimpressed. We see Kasami's, and Yu's the whole time. It's like, oh, Kasami's so cute.
I see you are a lady of culture.
Yes. Those are the other ones we see, and then they're like, oh, we got to get one for Emma. We're gonna work on that.
Emma, what do you want to be?
Emma's like, I don't know. They do this like big group meeting where they're like, oh, what do we want to be as idols and everything, and everyone comes up with like a completely different answer, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess we would come up with different answers. Yeah, it's quite very interesting. On the board it says to be punny.
Yes.
Very good.
Very good. We know who that is.
Yes. They decide that they're gonna throw Emma into some costumes, so they got to find a place that has costumes, and Karen has hookups in the costuming club, which is a thing.
Yep.
They're like, oh, thanks for letting us do this, Karen. Karen's like, yeah, they were in my class, so I just know who to talk to, I guess.
Big.
Emma gets to wear some costumes. She gets to wear a maid outfit, a cheerleading outfit. I don't remember what the one in between was.
I know maid, cheerleader, and then bear.
The last one was just a big bear costume, which was great.
It was so good.
He was like, oh my god, I gotta get a picture with this. We all gotta get a picture with Bear Emma. And then they're like, oh, you should... Yes. And they're like, oh, you should wear this outfit. It's cute. And then when they're going to take the picture, Emma's like, Karen, you should get in the picture with us. And Karen's like, no, I'm good. And they're like, no, come on. And then like her phone buzzes. She's like, oh, I gotta go actually. For reals.
I'm out.
Bye. And then she gets like a phone call about doing an interview or something. And Emma's like, perplexed. We cut to Karen at her room where she's filling out this interview that has like questions like, oh, what do you do? What are you interested in? Like, it's very just kind of like general.
Getting to know you type things.
Yeah. Also, she has a school idol magazine on her desk that she looks at and is like,
School idols.
It was at this point we realized we had been bamboozled.
Bamboozled! This isn't an Emma episode at all!
Yeah!
This is a Karen episode!
I cannot believe!
Wow!
So she's filling that out and looking at the magazine, and then Emma stops by. She's like, oh, crap! I gotta hide stuff! And then she lets Emma in, and then like Emma's like, oh, your room's still messy. Let me help you pick it up. And Karen's like, you don't have to do that. Emma eventually finds the school idol magazine and is like, oh, I didn't realize you're into this stuff. That's real cool. And Karen's like, no, I'm not into that at all. I just bought it for you. I thought you might like it for costume ideas. I do not like this at all. Definitely don't want to do any of that stuff. Don't invite me back to the club or anything. This is very much just a coincidence. I'm not stalling for time or anything or trying to hide the fact that I'm really into this. No, sirree. Please, I gotta go. Bye.
Bye.
And then Emma's sad.
Yeah, she's like, why is she so mad at me?
What did I do?
What have I
done? The next day they're filming some stuff for Emma's PV. She's just sitting by some bushes and she got a flower crown on. They're like, some of the other girls come up and are like, I thought we were gonna do a bunch of costumes and stuff. They're like, oh no, we're starting with the uniform and then we're getting into the costumes. Come on.
Get it together.
Emma goes into her spiel when she started to record, and you immediately is like, something wrong with Emma? And Kanata's like, maybe there is. Maybe she just didn't get enough sleep. If that was me, if I didn't get enough sleep, I would also be upset.
Yeah, same.
Emma goes to go change into a new costume, but she like stares longingly out the window, and then you and IMU show up and are like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "No, I'm good. I was thinking about some stuff, just taking my time and everything. It's all right. Yeah." You spot the Idol magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, "Oh, is that the new?" Or like in her bag, in Emma's bag, and she's like, "Oh, is that the new issue? Can I take a look at it?" And Emma's like, "Yeah, go ahead, take a look at it." You goes to open it up, and something falls out of the magazine, and it's the interview questionnaire that Karen had, and it's been filled out. And Emma reads it, and she's like, and it's like the first one's like, "Oh, what do you do? Or like to do?" And she's like, "Stretching." "What are you interested in right now?" "School idols."
School idols. What is it that you're interested in? School idols.
"I like hanging out with the school idol friends that I have." And Emma's like, "You
She's like, I gotta go.
I gotta go right now." She like marches over to Karen's, and then it's like, Karen's like, "Hey, what's up?" And Emma's like, "You're coming with me right now."
She was looking for her book, like, I wonder where it was.
Yes. Where did I? No, she was looking for the questionnaire.
Oh, that's what I mean.
And she was like, "Where did I put that?" Like looking through all her books and stuff. And then Emma shows up and is like, "You're coming with me right now." And Emma and Karen's like gets dragged out into the street. And is like, "Where are we going?" And Emma's like, "You're hanging out with me right now. No ifs, ands, or buts." So they go around and like just do a bunch of stuff. They go eat food, go shopping, run around a park, look at water in a fountain, go behind the fountain, go to like a planetarium. Do all this sort of stuff. And Karen's like, "Oh man, this is a whole lot of fun. I haven't had this much fun in a while." And then Emma's like, "All right, look here. I found your questionnaire.
I got your number."
I know what you're up to."
She's like, oh no.
Oh crap. And Emma goes on this whole spiel about being like, I wanted to be an idol because I wanted to like spread the feeling that I get from idols to other people, and like I've wanted you to join up and do this with me because I thought it would be something fun that we could both do. But if I can't spread that joy to you and make it reciprocal, that's the word I'm looking for, I think, to you and everything, I've completely failed in my job, and I clearly am unable to do this to anyone else. So like, what am I doing? And then Karen's like, "It's totally not your fault. It is not you. Do not worry about that. It's just, I don't like being in big groups. I don't think I can do the idol thing. Like, I'm supposed to be the cool, mature one. That's my gimmick. But like, that's not an idol thing. I can't do that." And then Emma's like, "All right, look here. I'm going to show you that we can do this. You can do this. Let me sing you a song." So we get Emma's new solo song called La Belle Patrie. That's probably completely 100% how you announce it. I'm a language specialist. Been a lot of Italian on the podcast these weeks. This past week. A lot of it. Oh boy. So yeah, she sings on like a I don't know if it's the same room they're in or like on a rooftop, but it's all grass and
it's all grass.
It was real weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does all that. We get to see some costumes and everything, like first single and some UR costumes from All Stars. The same kind of song and dance that we've seen from IMU, Kasumi, and
song and dance.
Literally.
Yeah.
She finishes up and Karen's like, "Okay, let's be idols, I guess." Like I will do this. This seems fun. We get her post-credits thing where Karen officially joins up and they're like, "Yay!" And Kasumi's like, "Oh, could you be a model and an idol at the same time? I don't think so." And then Karen shoots back at her like, "Oh yes, I'm going to be the best model and the best idol at the same time." And Kasumi's like, me. Cessna's just looking at her like, "Oh, Kasumi,
why would you do
this?
You
goober." And then we see Rena looking at something.
She's looking at Emma's video.
Yes, Emma's video, because they talk about how like she's been getting a lot of comments and views about it and everything. And Rena like at one point starts to look kind of dejected, and I immediately notices and is like, "Hey, what's up? What's wrong?" And Rena's like, "That's nothing." Which of course means next time we're getting a Rena episode. I mean, potentially.
Potentially.
I would assume so, because like I think this episode is going to be the one where they go into the whole thing about how she can't do emotions and everything. We're going to get the Rena-chan board, all that sort of stuff, and then someone's going to probably make the fancy one for her so that she can do it for performances and stuff, or they're going to bring that to like idea to the table for some reason. Because like if they make the board, the idea of like how do I do this while performing is going to also pop up. So like they probably have to figure that out as well. That's my assumptions, but also it kind of makes the most sense considering Rena's character and everything and how they handle that and other forms of media. But also, like, I mean, we all thought this was going to just be an Emma episode, and they're like, nah, just kidding, it's the Emma Karen episode. It's the you want to be an idol but you don't know how and you don't think you can episode.
You know, it's interesting to go from Hanamaru and Ruby to Emma and Karen.
Yeah, I would not have put the Hanamaru story on Karen of all people.
It's wild.
Because we were talking about this earlier on. We're like, she's the kind of, she was acting more in like the Nozomi kind of role where she's like
a little bit of an instigator.
But here she's like way like kind of like more, it's like I could kind of be like that, but also like I'm also this model who has no confidence in myself.
Yeah. No confidence, and also just like feels like she has to fit into this mold and can't do anything outside of it, which is kind of sad.
She is ride or die for her friends, but is not ride or die for herself.
That's relatable.
But now she might be able to, because she's got her friend with her, and her friend is going to help push her to a new promised land.
Thanks, Emma.
Good going, Emma. I'm glad they kind of did this episode now and didn't wait until like they did the Karen episode to make her join. So now we can be at full strength and we can actually kind of, do more character specific episodes and fit more of a story in here. But also, let's talk about next time. We will be discussing episode number 6 called The Shape of Smiles, and there's emoji, which I'm not excited to have to find that to type.
Oh God.
Especially, I mean, this episode is going to be a jerk because like I can't fit all this whole title into the audio player on my site, so that's gonna be fun. But here, I have something I want to say. We have been seeing how this series goes. We're 5 episodes in, and it's definitely kind of deviated from the all-star story and everything. It is mostly focused on the Niji girls and like their trials and tribulations, everything. If we go through this whole entire season and we do not get Shioriko, I'm going to be very upset. Because here's the weird thing that I just realized from playing the All-Star story. Shioriko is one of my favorite Niji girls now.
Yeah.
And if she does not show up in this, it is a great disservice to this story.
I wonder if she shows up like at the end and that's the season 2 story.
I was thinking that this whole time, but like where the All-Star story has just gone, like that could also be the season 2 story.
That's true.
If they decide to go in that route and adapt like that. I mean, the weird thing about the way they are doing this anime and how they're doing the All-Star story is that like they're going in these weird different directions, and they're introducing characters in the All-Star stories that haven't been represented in this yet, or at least they can be. There's no denying that they can introduce characters later on that they're not going to show in the early marketing and anything like that. But then you get to like a weird point where like how late is too late to introduce these characters and everything. Because, the way the Love Life formula has gone up to this point and everything is that, the first 3/4 of the series is, defining these characters, getting the group together and all that sort of stuff. And then you pivot towards, hey, we're shooting for Love Live.
Right.
With this, we have the group together 5 episodes in. We're still establishing characters because, there's characters we still haven't really talked about. Like, Rina's getting an episode next week. We still haven't talked about Kanata. We haven't talked about Shizuku. And we're
gonna get a Karen episode too.
We'll probably get another Karen episode. So like that's another 4. We're basically kind of booked out until episode 9.
Right.
So like, I mean, we've seen kind of like, bits and pieces of like the overarching story fit into all of this as well, but like considering we had the whole thing where you basically told Setsuna to basically say Love Live and everything.
Right.
Where is this story overall going to go is the main question that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, same. And one thing that I have been thinking about that, might break the mold, I'm not sure, which, I mean, Niji has been doing nothing but breaking molds.
Right.
What if there's more than 2 seasons of this?
I would hope that would be the case.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the other ones had 2 seasons and, you know, their story was told, but maybe that doesn't happen with Niji. Maybe it just keeps going.
And maybe with the fact that, like, you know, this is a completely different team from the other mainline Love Live series that they're doing. It's mostly a team of, like, people that haven't really worked on Sunshine or original Love Live or are working on the new one or anything. Like, you can have them doing this while the other shows are ongoing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my hope, but also with the way Niji has gone throughout, like, you know, since 2017 onwards, like, there's always going to be this, I think, this kind of nagging thought in the back of my mind that, like, oh, they'll just, like, do a season and that'll be it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also worried about that. Because I mean, I've seen people in events. I mean, and again, this is US based, so Japan's different, but like they did not care about Niji, and that was really upsetting.
Yeah. Of course, you went to that event like the day that All Stars launched, so like.
Yes, I did.
For the most part, they had really not been known in, like, outside of Japan before that. Like, they'd had little very brief instances in School Idol Festival, but that was it.
That was it, yeah.
So,
but I mean, they weren't even open to it though.
Right, yeah, I know. That is, there's totally that kind of fans out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's still people like that about Aqua, so.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with this story.
Same.
Because, like, do they eventually go for Love Live? Is that going to be a thing, or are they just trying to break out their mold? And I think, like, you can, there's an easy way to introduce Yuriko, because, like, you can just do it the same way they did in All Stars, where, like, Setsuna is neglecting her student council president duties, and here comes someone else who's like, I can do this better than you. I can lead this school to a better place because you are clearly just, you know, not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're more focused on this than that. But, like, I would hope that eventually that becomes the case. And, you know, it's 5 episodes in. It is still very early to say one way or the other. We still have, like, 8 episodes remaining.
Right.
So there's still a lot of time between now and the end of the season for anything to happen.
The question is what?
Yeah, it's like I said, like we have 4 more episodes blocked off for that we know like what the kind of general idea is going to be.
Yes.
Like
and then after that
it's a mystery.
The world is our oyster.
And you know, that's another 4 episodes after that you could still establish like what the main story is going to be, and then what like the main driving point, the main point of contention is going to be when it comes to that story for these girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's still a lot of things. Like, we don't have there's no president in this club yet.
Right.
Well, I mean, Kasumi will tell you that she's the president, but like they have not declared someone in this club to be the president yet. So like, there's still a whole lot of stuff, like a whole lot of moving parts that are, you know, still to come and everything. But yeah, I'm very curious as this series moves on, just like where the main story is going to go.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap this episode up. As we get big rants out of here.
I mean, as far as rants go, that's not super big for us.
No, of course not. It's just I just wanted to kind of like put that out there and see like where you were thinking and everything, and
yeah,
you know, see where the people were thinking as well.
Am I the people?
Everyone's the people.
Oh.
What's Loki and Max think?
What do y'all think? Max is naked.
Why is he naked?
Well, you know he's naked.
Oh, I thought you meant he had his like collar off. I was like, how
no,
do you
no.
do that?
He hasn't figured out how to get the Yosuro collar off yet.
He's still biding his time on that. Loki's just Loki.
Yep.
Well, anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. If you would like more from us, go to seasonlanimecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Anime Checkup, Season Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you want more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. Buy our book, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Live, Sunshine on Amazon.com. And you can also buy Alice's book, Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon as well. Next week, we will discuss season 1, episode number 6. It's The Shape of Smiles. Let's learn about Rena and how she'll be able to make some boards.
Emojis.
Emojis.